Hi, my name is Nehal, and today I will be discussing the second topic, which is there is evidence to suggest that parenting styles such as authoritarian and authoritative are associated with academic performance, and I'll be looking at a range of different cultures. So now I'm going to switch over to our PowerPoint where I'll be running through the article.
The article I will be analysing is written by Miss Pong, Mr. Johnston, and Miss Chen. The title of the article is shown on the screen. We will also be looking at the various aspects of the study shown on the screen. To begin with, the aim. The study observes the relationship between parenting methods and school performance amongst Asian students. A comparison was made between Asian American and European American students in the US. Then Chinese students in Taiwan were examined to add further credibility to the study. The hypothesis is a prediction that would be tested by the various methods. The hypothesis of this study suggests that authoritative parenting has a positive impact on academic performance amongst Asian students. Before I begin, I would like to define the three types of parenting, that is permissive, authoritarian, and authoritative. Permissive parenting is when the child is given a lot of freedom or choice. Authoritarian parenting, in contrast, are very demanding or strict and do not show a lot of acceptance or involvement with their children. On the other hand, we have authoritative parenting. This is when the parents are both strict as well as responsive to their children. So they are responsive through discussions, acceptance, involvement, and warmth. We will now look at the method used. So two national surveys were utilized, the first being the National Longitudinal Study of Adolescent Health, known as AdHealth, and the Taiwan Education Panel Survey, known as TEPS. Firstly, the AdHealth Survey. The AdHealth Survey acquired data relating to the parent-child relationships and family situations. They also accumulated data through an in-class survey, an in-home student survey, and an in-home parent survey. TEPS, by contrast, is a cognitive ability test. It's completed in two waves used to monitor academic fluctuations. TEPS also included a questionnaire for parents. This was used to identify the differing parenting styles. We will now look at the participants. So the AdHealth survey had a sample size of 10,668 students, ranging from years 7 to 12, and all of these students were either European American or Asian American. The TEPS had a sample size of 12,429 students. These were accumulated in 2001, and 12,211 ninth graders from 2003 who also sat the test in 2001. We will now look at the results and the findings. So, authoritarian parenting was found to have a negative impact upon the academic performance of Asian students. And after adjusting for cultural differences and socioeconomic status, the relationship still indicated a high significance. This was shown by a p-value that was less than 0.01. The results indicated that there were no large differences between parenting styles between Asian American and European American students. As you can see, for the authoritative styles, for European American it was 48.7, and for Asian American it was 46.1. Similarly, for authoritarian styles, it was 23.1% for European American students and 25.6% for Asian American students. I have also extracted the table from the report. This table summarizes parenting style versus the student type. I have highlighted the figures that were discussed just earlier. Further results. So children with authoritarian parents tended to have a lower GPA as well than students with authoritative parents. This was across all the samples. We will now look at the limitations and critique the results. So the first limitation was that a substantial amount of questionnaires were missing from the Asian American parents in particular. Although statistical measures were taken into account to counteract this, there still may be bias in the answers. Secondly, the AdHealth survey utilised GPA, whereas TEPS presented individual test scores. Therefore, the data could not easily be comparable. Furthermore, students may have also over-reported their grades as a means of an ego boost. We will now further critique the results. So, the results obtained from Chinese students in Taiwan may not necessarily be directly comparable to the Chinese students in America. Despite Taiwan historically being part of China, they may share different cultural beliefs. So we will now critique the methods. So the article was written in 2010, however they used data from the early 2000s. This may mean that cultural shifts and beliefs may not be reflected for the given period of time. Furthermore, the large sample size that they did use is a credit to them, as it would give accurate data for that given period of time. So, further critiquing the methods, as I mentioned earlier, both surveys use different academic scaling systems. Also, the researchers could not monitor the longitudinal data to reach conclusions. Longitudinal data is when you observe data over a given period of time. Now, they could not do this because the AdHealth survey had 2 waves, which were only 1 year apart, and parenting style is not likely to change within that 1 year. Furthermore, it was a good decision to cross-check parental styles with both the child and parent to ensure accuracy. And it would be interesting if another parenting style was analysed in more depth, as it is mainly authoritative and authoritarian styles that is analysed in this article. The conclusions were that parenting affects various other factors such as psychological well-being, which indirectly affects academic performance. Also, although there was a similar distribution of authoritarian and authoritative parenting styles amongst Asian and American students, Asian students still managed to perform better. We'll now critique the conclusion and the discussion. So, not much mathematical evidence was given to support their claims. For instance, they didn't give much mathematical evidence to suggest that there is a relationship between parental education and academic success. And correlations between GPA and type of parenting could have been provided to further show the relationship between parenting styles and academic success. I also now have personal research questions to lead the research in future directions. The first research question is, do authoritative parents from Asian and Western cultures differ in their approach to training their children for academic success? And although European American parents are often more educated, why do the children of Asian parents often still achieve higher academic success? Now, this particular research paper was chosen as the other papers either only looked at one ethnicity or focused on academic achievement motivation rather than actual academic